Hey man, say man, I feel like I have to tell y'all the grand realization that I came to, which made the world of a difference for me to recognize how to be a better teacher and how to be a better guitarist. So hopefully this grand conclusion of understanding that there are only four types of guitarists will benefit you as well. Well, what do I mean by there are only four types of guitarists? I'm wondering, what type of guitarist are you? When you pick up the guitar and you decide to play, what do you play? I'm not talking about what guitar do you pick up. I'm not talking about what genre do you play. Let's say you're deciding to play guitar for 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. What are you doing within that time frame? Are you truly making that time productive? What strengths are you expounding upon? What weaknesses are you building? Because there's only four types of guitarists, and knowing what type you are will help you recognize your strengths and help you recognize where you are lacking. So let's talk about it. But before we talk about it, I would like to tell you a little bit about myself. I am Paul Neal, a full time guitarist and a full time guitar educator. As a full time guitarist, I have toured all across the United States, playing guitar for corporate groups, artists, my own band, myself. And I've gone to perform all the way from the East Coast to the West Coast, performing on yachts in Miami to performing at Grammy after parties in California. So I've had a few experiences when it comes to guitar, and I have a lot further to go. And as a full time guitar educator, I am a high school guitar teacher, and I also teach private lessons for Music and Arts, which is a subsidiary of Guitar Center, and for my own private lesson studio, where I teach private lessons in person, serving the Atlanta area, and I also teach private lessons on the inters of web. So if you are interested in taking private lessons, check out the link in the bio. I do have a few resources on there. My goal for 2025 is to share all of the knowledge and experiences that I've gained on this YouTube channel. So please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Now let's get into the four types of guitarists that exist. There are only four types of guitarists. And again, I mentioned that the biggest way to figure out what type of guitarist are you is to really pay attention to what you do when you pick up the guitar and you decide to play for an extended period of time. This applies to beginners and pros. Now, if you're a pro, you're probably not doing the same thing that beginners are doing. And if you're a beginner, you're probably not doing the same thing that pros are doing. But I'm going to take the approach of the four types of guitarists to being how you like to learn as a guitarist. So the first type of guitarist would like to learn songs. Do you pick up the guitar and just play your favorite songs? Do you pick up the guitar and open up YouTube and type in how to play hot cross buns on guitar? Are you always trying to focus on learning songs, thinking that learning songs will better your skills? Now, there are pros and cons to learning songs. Obviously, you're building up a catalog. You're learning how to play a lot of different styles if you're learning a bunch of different styles. You're building up the muscle memory in order to play. But there's a lot of cons that come with it. Oftentimes, if you're learning songs, more than likely you're not truly learning how to master the guitar. You're not learning how to play by ear. You're not learning how to understand the guitar in its entirety so that you can actually move comfortably throughout the guitar. All you're doing is just playing a song. One of the biggest things that I find people who only learn songs do, they figure that there's a right way and a wrong way to play a song. Technically, if the song has two chords, a G chord and a C chord, there's thousands of different ways that you can play a G chord and a C chord on a guitar. It doesn't have to be the open string cage chords that you're used to playing. But that is the first type of guitarist, the type of guitarist that likes to play and learn songs. If you are that type of guitarist, you might be lacking in the other three regards. If you pick up the guitar and you happen to be playing for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, are you the type of person that likes to practice your technique and learn how to better your technique? Are you the type of person that focuses on how far apart your fingers are when you are trying to develop your dexterity when you're running through your scales? How quickly you can transition between one chord to another? Are you the type of person that is focusing on all of the different pentatonic shapes and how they're well connected? Are you the type of person that is trying to focus on the proper way to hold a pick and the proper way to pick and hybrid pick and alternate pick and make sure that you can do a proper pinch harmonic and all the fancy things? Are you focusing on how to get the best sound possible? Or are you the type of person that's playing songs? So there's two types of guitarists that we talked about so far: the people who like to play songs and the people who like to focus on their technique. Now, I told you the pros about how to play songs and the cons that happen when you're playing songs. So here's the pros and cons when you are looking at technique. If you are primarily focused on technique, there are a lot of pros. You probably have a lot of guitar skill. You probably are the type of person who can play clean, who can play loud, and it does not sound distorted and ugly. You're the type of person that can play within control, that can play standing up, that can play sitting down. You're the type of person that is going to skyrocket your guitar ability and always feel like you have the composure to make it through whatever scenario that you're focused on because you have that technique, because you mastered the discipline of guitar. You're the type of person who understands the guitar. If not in and out, you're well along your journey to understand the guitar in and out because you focus on your technique. Now, there are good things that happens when you're focusing on your technique, but here's the bad things that happens when you're focusing on your technique. You may not truly understand feel. You may not truly learn songs. So when you have friends over who are asking you, can you play me something? Can you play me a song? You're like, I don't know any songs, but I can play you this C major scale in the 3 notes per string method 3 different ways. And non-musicians wouldn't find that fun. They would just look at you like, oh, okay, that's cool. But obviously you should add to your catalog other than just playing technique. So if you're playing technique only, if that is your primary focus, you're lacking on the primary aspect of playing an instrument, which is to enjoy expressing yourself. And technique practice is good practice. It does make it better for you to express yourself, but it does not show true expression like how learning a song would, or like how learning to play like a particular guitarist would. So, those are two things to keep in mind: learning your songs, learning your technique. Or are you the third type of guitarist? Somebody who likes to focus on the theory, somebody who likes to think about what is happening whenever you're listening to a song. Somebody who likes to dissect music, but you're trying to figure out what is happening in the song. You're the type of person to think about the big picture of learning music. You're the type of person who wants to train your ears. You're the type of person to hear a song that has a lot of different chord changes and you're trying to analyze what key the song is in, trying to figure out the best approach to play the song, trying to figure out the best inversion to play these chords. You're the type of person that does not like to focus on the what or the where, but the how and the why. You are the person who likes to learn music theory. Music theory is arguably the most important skill when it comes to being a musician, not even just being a guitarist. Music theory is the reason why musicians are able to get together and they can converse about music with high degree of accuracy and intellect. Being a guitar teacher who teaches a lot of beginner guitars, I understand music theory in and out, but a lot of my beginner guitarists do not understand music theory. So oftentimes when they're trying to converse with me about how to play a song or how to do this, the only thing that they're telling me is fret numbers, and they stumble across their words about what fret to play or what string to play, and they're not able to actually speak in theoretical application. They're not able to tell me, oh, this song is in the key of C and we're playing from like the 5 to the 4, talking scale degrees or talking chord types. But I digress. Here's the cons to learning music theory and trying to have your primary focus of the guitar be to understand music theory. There are no cons. I'm just joking with you. The cons to focusing on music theory rather than focusing on your technique or focusing on songs: you are hindering yourself. You're holding yourself back. You're slowing the process down rather than just truly enjoying the music for what it is. I kind of find the process of learning music theory to be kind of nitpicky. You don't need to know everything when it comes to guitar in order to play guitar. All you need to know is a couple skills, and then to connect those dots, and then to learn another skill and connect that dot, and to learn another skill and connect that dot. But you don't need to know the entire textbook of how to play guitar before you start playing guitar. Just take it one step at a time, one song at a time, one technique at a time, and then try to understand the theory around that song or technique. But don't overload your brain with it. Which leads me to the fourth type of guitarist. If you are a pro or somebody who's experienced as I am, or even more experienced, because I'm not the best guitarist out there, but if you are somebody like me, then you are this fourth type of guitarist, which is the person that just likes to jam and just likes to play the first thing that comes to mind. You're the type of person that noodles. Everybody knows what noodles is on guitar. It is the person who picks up the guitar and they play everything that comes to their heart or that comes to their mind. They're just feeling the groove, finding the riff, playing it and letting the sparks fly and just going for it. You're the type of person who truly loves to play the instrument because you just love to make music. You're the type of person who truly loves to play the instrument because you just love the instrument for what it is and what it can do. You're the type of person who just wants to continue to grow as a musician, but you want to express yourself the way you want to express yourself. And you're not hindering yourself to what the greats did before you or what those music theorists or technique people or song learners feel like you should learn. You don't live by the status quo. You define the status quo. You're setting the trends. You're making your own songs. And I commend you for doing that. But here's the problems when it comes to doing that. If all you're doing is jamming and making stuff up, sometimes you have no idea what you're doing. And if you don't know what you're doing, how are you able to replicate it? How are you able to communicate it to other musicians? Let's say you have to put a band together. How are you going to tell the band what to play? Are you just going to rely on their musical expertise so that they can do it? If they can do it, sounds like you have a good people around your circle. But if they're not able to do it, you're going to find yourself frustrated when it comes to communicating with them. Some people are not intellectual enough to understand or to communicate and to recognize when they're not playing in the right key or what sounds good or what sounds wrong because all they're focused on is the feeling and the emotion. And everybody ain't vibing at the same rate. So if you are that fourth type of person, there's no shame in being that fourth type of person. I'm that fourth type of person, but I grew to become that type of person. So for me, of course, I'm all four types, but the first type that I am is the fourth. Okay, I should probably word that better. My primary guitar type is to be somebody who likes to jam. And then secondary, I like to practice my technique. Third, I like to understand the theory. And then fourth, I like to learn songs. Now, if there's ever a time where I'm putting songs at the forefront, it's because I have a paying client who wants me to perform these songs at their event. So that's the reason why I'm focused on these songs. If not, more than likely I'm jamming. And if you ever catch my live streams, more than likely I'm jamming. Most times people are asking me to play their favorite song on the live stream all the time. And I'll hit them with a, oh, hold on, let me listen to it just so that I can make sure I know what it sounds like and I can try to replicate it. But most times I don't know these songs that y'all want me to play. They're not my favorite songs. My favorite songs are my songs, the songs that I've created myself because I'm a jammer. But if you are the type of person who likes to learn songs, there's nothing wrong with you playing your favorite song. So what type of guitarist are you? Let me know in the comments. I told you all four types. Let me know all four types in your rank order. What is your primary to what is your least? Anyway, I hope to see you in the next video. Peace.